Well, Mackenzie, this is going to be number 3 of 3.
I know, it's fall. It's time.
It's already time.
It's the Post Show with Mike and Mackenzie. You're welcome, America.
Richard and Robin back in the studio from the Grass Pad. Guys, it's good to see you again.
Welcome to Seedtember.
Oh, there it is.
Thanks for having us.
There it is. Have you both had your pumpkin spice lattes yet? Robin's like,
No.
Pumpkin spice.
They're too busy working.
Yeah.
it's awesome.
Nobody's got time for that yet.
So
Right.
remind everybody, Richard, which Grass Pad location can everybody find you at?
So I'm actually at the Lee Summit location.
Perfect. And then Robin, you're out of which
I'm
one?
down at Stillwell.
There you go.
Still and still well.
Now,
Still
we've learned a
well.
lot. A lot of people have checked out the podcast over the last few times. We've already done a couple of sessions. Now we're in Seedtember, like you just said, Richard. Right now, what are the majority of people coming in looking for?
So right now, a lot of people are coming through the door because their lawn is not in the best of shape after the fungus destroyed a spot, brown patch or pythium, or maybe they got hit with the army worms 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Explain Pythium real quick.
Okay. So some of the lawn diseases that we saw this summer were due to the fact that it just kept raining all summer.
Right.
And so when you have high heat and high humidity, that jungle environment is really what the lawn disease is like.
Right.
And so Pythium is one that we saw a fair amount of, and it was, you would go out in the lawn at like 6 in the morning and you would see these spider webs all over the grass. Well, that was actually the fungal mycelium spreading from plant to plant. And so, if you weren't out scouring your lawn at 6 in the morning, you probably didn't notice it until you had a dead spot or a brown spot.
Yeah.
And, hitting it with fungicides through the summer whenever you have those hot, humid, wet conditions.
Moist. That's a word people hate.
It's
one of our
It's
favorites.
true.
Robin, real quick, he said the army worms.
Yeah.
How do you know when you got army worms? Because I'm concerned I may have some.
So it starts out, if you aren't out there staring at your grass every day, it
Right.
starts out with like a little brown spot. And
Yeah.
kind of at first when people started coming in with pictures, it kind of looked like it was fungus starting. It was kind of that time of year.
Yeah.
And then, but it expands very rapidly. So they go from being, a 4-inch spot in your lawn that morning and you come back to several feet, a spot that's several feet in diameter.
Okay.
And then you're like, oh, I better go do something. You go see us at Grass Pad after work the next day and your whole lawn's gone.
But it can,
Whoa.
okay, so it goes fast.
It's
So that's
fast,
the
they're
way
fast.
to tell between just drought, and
Yeah,
army
that's
worms.
a fungus moves slow, drought moves slowish, not rapid. I mean, it's obvious.
Okay.
It's burning a hole in your lawn.
Wow.
And if you kneel down and
Oh,
start,
yeah.
start kind of going through the grass, like they are on top of the ground, like the
Yeah.
worms are.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like I was backing my boat into the garage on my day off and I look over and I'm like, why is my grass brown?
Oh,
and
no.
I stepped out, knelt down, and there was just army worms just crawling around everywhere.
Yeah. Or if you've walked, let's say you've mowed,
Right.
it's on your shoes. The bug guts are on your shoes.
Ew,
Got it.
bug guts
Yeah.
on your
Yeah.
shoes.
Right up your alley, isn't it?
Man, Richard, if it can happen to you, it can happen,
No
happen to
kidding.
anybody.
Yes. And what was funny is I had bought a bag of insecticide, threw it on the floor of my garage.
Yeah.
And I told everyone at work, like, I'm going to put this down tonight. I didn't.
Oh,
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
like, 2 days later, boom, there they were.
So how long does it take once you put down an insecticide to get rid of them?
Oh, it's quick.
Yeah,
They're
they're
easy
gone.
to kill.
Okay.
Yeah, they just got to catch them.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about it. You guys have brought in a lot of great stuff today. That's what I love about this. The Grass Pad full service for everything for your yard. They got the nursery going on. We're in the perfect time of year for seeding. So, Richard, why don't you walk through the most common seeding practice right now?
Sure. So a lot of people think that you have to rent equipment to seed your lawn.
I
And
always did.
That's really
Yeah.
not the case. Like, if your lawn is in pretty decent shape, but you got some spots that are
Right.
kind of ugly,
Right.
spread the seed over the whole yard. And then I would go to the spots where you need every seed to grow.
Sure.
And that's where you break out one of my favorite tools.
Let's see it.
So cowboys have spurs. I have
Look at this guy.
I have a garden
I want
weasel.
to play
love
with
it.
that.
basically you can just throw the seed down and then you just take that garden weasel and you just weasel back and
Yeah.
forth right over that seed.
See what I deal with, Robin? See what I deal with, Richard?
I have it
Her
now.
right there. Okay.
Ooh, it
And
makes a
so-
fun sound, too.
That garden weasel is just going to
Jingles.
stitch the seed right into that top layer of the soil, so it's covered, it's not visible.
Right.
And then I'll go the extra mile, and I'll just throw a little peat moss over my bare
Oh,
spots.
nice.
That way, none of my seed is exposed.
Okay.
If you think about your grass seed as kind of like a beach towel when you get done is wet.
Yep.
And if you wad that up and stick it in the bottom of the hamper, it's going to be wet like next week.
Right.
Sure it is.
And if you took that same beach towel and spread it out in the parking lot, it would be dry very quick.
Right.
So the seed's the same way. We don't want the seed exposed in the parking lot.
Makes sense.
We want it at the bottom of the hamper staying wet.
Makes sense.
And so stitching the seed in with something like a garden weasel, you can do that at home. It's very easy. I have my 9-year-old run the
Yeah,
garden
that
weasel
looks
at
like a
my
good
house.
job for a child.
Yeah, yeah, they love it. They love
Put
it.
Mackenzie on it then.
I could do that.
That's your job. Robin, can you seed and fertilize at the same time?
Oh, yeah. You definitely want to seed and fertilize at the
Okay.
same time. All the grass needs feed. So even if it's a baby or an adult, they all eat the same. So, yeah, you definitely want to fertilize at the same time.
Can you over fertilize right now? Some people that ask that.
I mean, it's possible to do anything in excess. The bags are going to have spreader settings on the back of the bag. That's the spreader setting you should follow. If you finish and you've got half a bag left, like I probably wouldn't double it.
Right.
But, if it's a 15,000 square foot bag that went on 10,000, that's great.
Right.
Yeah.
Extra fertilizer in the fall is a great idea. But I probably wouldn't triple it.
Yeah, that was a mistake that I did. And then, of course, things have to
Yeah.
self-thin itself out a little bit, which it has done quite nicely. Now, what about, because we had asked people to send in a few questions, because I knew you guys were going to be back in today. When you move into a house and you've got the yard and you're like, oh, this thing, there's weed patches. Some of it
Yeah,
looks
if
good.
it's your first season, you don't know what it looked like last year.
Yeah, so weeds. What are some of the most common weeds people are coming in with right now?
So since it rained all summer long, we are seeing tons of nut sedge,
Yeah.
sometimes called nut grass.
Yeah.
And homeowners a lot of times don't know the names of weeds, but
Right.
they've heard the word water grass.
Uh-huh.
And so every grass that is undesirable, a homeowner is going to come in and say, I got that water grass.
Right.
Yeah.
And so there are combination products out there, such as the Q4 Plus, the Trimec Platinum,
Yeah.
the Trimec Crabgrass, all of those. Those are going to take care of crabgrass and foxtail.
Right.
If you've got nut sedge or nut grass, then the Trimec Platinum, the Q4 Plus, those are going to knock out those also. So
Got it.
these are kind of one and done products.
So what is the grass though? Because right now I have this where in a couple of spots I'll mow, and it's like literally 4 hours later the next morning, there's this grass that is 2 inches above. It's bright green. What is that stuff?
That's the nut
That's
sedge.
the nut sedge.
That's nut sedge.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
You got problems, Mike.
I do. Well,
And so you can identify it for sure as nut sedge. If you were to roll the stem in your fingers, you would feel that it's a three-sided stem. It's a triangle. And
No
so the
kidding.
only plant in the whole kingdom of plants that has a three-sided triangular stem is a sedge.
Okay.
And so if you roll that and it's thump, 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 you got the nut sedge in your yard.
Interesting. Okay, go. We're gonna back one thing real quick. Yeah, I think it was our first or second episode we did with you guys. Figuring out how much seed you need to your yard, and you said something about lawn mowing times can help.
Yeah, so I mean, trying to figure out how big your yard is, a lot of times people will say, I've never even thought about that. If you're mowing your yard in like 20 minutes, you're probably in that like 5,000 square foot range. If you're knocking it out in like 45 minutes to an hour, you're probably closer to like 10,000.
Got it.
If it's taking you an hour and a half, 2 hours, you're probably in that 15,000, maybe even half an acre, depending on how quick you're walking.
I'd be moving.
Yeah.
That's too much yard for me.
Mackenzie, when was the last time you mowed?
So I have another question.
Yep.
Um,
What's your question there, Hot Rod?
my husband does the mowing. That's okay. What about safety with dogs and kids? Because people are out there rolling around in their backyard.
Sure.
What do they need to know for that?
If they're spraying weeds, because maybe they have nut sedge in their yard.
Right.
Basically, you're going to read the label and the directions for use. And most of the products that are on the market right now are going to say to allow the product to dry before kids or pets return to the area. And so it's not a multiple day venture.
Oh, good.
A lot of times, I'll put my kids to bed at like 7:30, 8 o'clock. I'll run out in the yard. I'll spray my weeds, and they're not back out there till the next day anyway.
Right. And then you're good to go. Okay.
Yep.
Now, Richard and Robin, I see in front of you, Richard, you might need to slide this over so your camera picks this up, but what is the grass you have right there?
So this is going to be our heat wave.
Okay.
The heat wave grass seed is going to be a turf type tall fescue. It's basically a good choice for somebody that was maybe not going to water real frequently,
Right.
Or somebody that doesn't have a sprinkler system built into their yard.
Okay.
They would choose a turf type tall fescue.
Got it.
Now, if somebody says, "Oh, I've got a sprinkler system, and man, I kick that thing on every morning,"
Sure.
maybe that's going to be like a bluegrass yard, and
All
so
right.
maybe like blue wave or
Yeah.
state mix in a yard like that.
Okay.
But yeah, for the average customer that maybe doesn't have a sprinkler system, or they're only going to drag the hoses out a couple times a week during the summer,
right.
The heat wave would be a great choice for that.
Now, what if we've got grubs in the yard? We talked about the armyworms earlier. What about grubs?
Yeah, if you didn't get your the long season grub control down early, like in July, maybe you didn't get it done or
Right.
never thought about it, and now you find grubs.
Sure.
There are some quick kill grub control options out there. And the beauty of those is they take care of the armyworms, the sod webworms, so
Ants.
Good
ants,
to know.
all the critters.
So let's go into a lot of people follow like I do, the idiot proof system. Where are we at right now? Because what I love, you walk in the store, there's a big sign that says you're on step whatever.
Yeah, there are
4.
directions.
Correct.
I like that.
Step 4,
Step
renovator.
4. All right, renovator time. So right now, how is the when people are coming in, are they bringing you grasses? Are they bringing you the bugs? What are they bringing in right now? Because we've had some stories with you too.
Yes, bugs and grasses and weeds. And we really do appreciate the samples. They really do help out a ton. Pictures are great, but having that in our hands is especially if they're trying to choose seed or they don't really know if maybe they're new to the house, they'll bring in so we can try and match the same species of grass, whether it's bluegrass or fescues, like our heat wave.
What about when you're seeding? Because it is seed time. What about de-thatching? Do I have to do that?
So the de-thatching is an operation that I would do if the yard is maybe not in the best condition.
Okay.
I don't know what de-thatching is.
Well, where's he going to explain it?
Basically, de-thatching is going to be a process of removing all the dead grass and clippings, cutting some grooves into the ground so that your seed has a place to be. And so there's lots of different options on de-thatching. You know, renting a verticutter, renting a power seeder. If you don't want to go rent a machine like that, you can do it by hand with the garden weasel or with a de-thatching rake. A lot of people are even using these little electric de-thatchers that you can order online, places like Amazon.
Okay.
Really?
They're inexpensive and
100,
easy to move
150
around.
bucks. Those little electric de-thatchers just bzzz, and just pull it right up.
Now, I had a house one year, and I will never forget this. I went and got the truck because I thought I'd have a few bags, to go burn later. And I I didn't realize that you could thatch out a lot of stuff. Like,
it's unbelievable. How much
go easy on this. Trust me on this little deal. Because it ended up being a whole truckload. I'm like, at the end of the day, I thought, okay, this better really grow in. Now, it grew in really nice, but I don't know what I really took out of it. All right, here's one that came in. Her name was Tanya, wrote in. She says, I've got birds that are eating the seed that I'm putting down in the yard.
Oh, I wouldn't even think about that.
How do we get rid of that problem?
Cover the seed. We got to get the seed covered. If you can see the seed on top of the soil, then it's not. We need to get it covered to hold in moisture to keep the birds off it. It should be covered. You shouldn't see the seed on top. You shouldn't know that the birds are taking it.
Don't the birds know the difference, Robin? I mean, come on.
It's food.
All right,
They're
then.
food.
Fair enough. Well, more questions coming in. Snowman, that's going to be in towards November, December, right? As part of the deal?
Typically, we're going to hit the lawn once a month with some food. So we're going to hit it with lawn food in September, October, and November. And so the renovator in September, the renovator again in October, and then November, we're going to put it to bed with the snowman.
That's right. That's when we start seeing the billboards go up around town. Snowman now. Okay, gotcha. So let's go around the room here. We got a lot of things that are up. Let's start in front of you right there, Richard. You've got the golf course starter. Explain when that is most beneficial.
So the golf course starter is going to be a starter fertilizer that you would use at the same time as seeding, at the same time as sodding. Even if you're not seeding or sodding, it's a great fall fertilizer. The golf course starter is typically going to be in this small bag for like a pallet of sod. Like this bag would be perfect if you had one pallet of sod.
Okay, gotcha.
The next size up is going to do like 5,000 to 6,000 square feet. So if you have a smaller yard, then that next size up a golf course starter would be the bag that you would use as your fall fertilizer.
Okay,
if you got a little bit more standard lot size, like 10 to 15,000, that's where we'd go to the renovator.
Gotcha. Now let's go back to sod for a second. If you are sodding instead of seeding, do you have to dig down for the sod? How do you prep the surface?
So the sod needs to go down on loose bare dirt, no exposed, dead leaves or dead plants, no vegetation of any kind, just loose bare dirt. And then typically to make the sod match up to the rest of the lawn, I'll kind of cut like a little bit of a trench on the edge. So I can tuck the edge of the sod into that trench. And then that way there's not like a lip. Yeah.
Mackenzie, you keeping notes on this?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to
Doing that too. Make sure that edge stays moist and doesn't dry out. If it's sitting up and you can see it, it'll dry back a little bit.
Right. Okay. So, Robin, let's start over here. So we got the heat wave. That's the seed that Richard put down over there.
Yeah.
Then we got the renovator bags there. The snowman's underneath it. What is down here on the end?
That's the Primera, our Primera field conditioner, and we use that as a seed dressing.
What does that mean?
That's what we cover the seed with after we're done putting it down.
Okay,
Keeps
gotcha.
So the
off
birds
it.
don't eat it.
So the birds don't eat it.
See, I'm
And
listening.
You were listening.
I'm paying attention.
I'm proud of you.
We're big fans of the Primera. It's really easy to work with. It's just a calcined clay little crumble.
Right.
Kind of has a texture of like cat litter, right? Like kind of the same texture to it. And but it soaks up water like a sponge. So when you sprinkle that out over the top and cover your seed with it so you cannot see the seed, it will hold moisture on that seed and then also hopefully deflect some bird action.
All right, now here's a question, because I know where she lives, I know where I live, and it's like there's some spots where we're going to put seed next to the house, and it'll wash off. What can I do to lock the seed in place? Because the dirt will that hold it? Do I need straw? What do I need?
Hold. I'd say that holds probably better than peat moss.
Okay.
If it's a little bit of a slope, but if it's a heavy rain, there's not a whole lot we can do.
Sure.
That may be a spot to consider maybe putting sod.
Okay.
Just because that will hold, you can staple that down and that can buffer the.
Gotcha.
And even if you edge it with sod up to your seed just to kind of hold a slope, that would be very helpful.
All
There's
right.
other things you can get as well that will, it's like a blanket you put over and you use it on bigger jobs. But for a lot of those things like that, you got to be careful with that. That can be kind of messy. You can get a hold of it with your mower and stuff later. So there's some,
we don't want
to
that.
Take care with it. There's reasons for it, absolutely. But sometimes you don't have to.
Let's go behind you over here. Which one are you, like back here? So we got the C20, the soil builder. That's just a soil supplement.
So the soil builder is kind of interesting. It's not a fertilizer. It's actually a food source for the natural soil microbes that live in your dirt.
Okay.
And when you feed them, they're going to grow and reproduce, grow and reproduce, grow and reproduce. That's going to create fluff that's going to aerate your soil from the bottom up.
Richard,
biologically.
Hold on. You know what Mackenzie thought of when you said fluff. There's only one thing she thought of here.
On bread with peanut butter.
Yeah, that's where her brain went.
I love those Nutter Fluffer sandwiches.
Okay.
I might have one today.
Get it out.
Have you ever toast the bread first?
Okay, thank you. Back to the fluff, Richard.
So if you were not wanting to rent like an aerator, or if you had a concern like, I don't want to rent an aerator because I don't want to chop my Google Fiber cable that runs around my house, or I don't want to break sprinkler heads. I don't want to hit a valve cover for my sprinkler system.
Sure.
You can just put down the C20 Soil Builder twice a year, and then the effects last all year.
Loosens it up.
So instead of like a physical aeration where the loosening effect might last 6-8 weeks, doing 2 applications of the C20 Soil Builder per year, the effects would last all year.
Wow, that's fantastic.
So deeper roots, better absorption of minerals, better utilization of your water. You can cut back on your water bill significantly in the summer with deeper roots.
And
not pulling up weed seeds.
Yeah, and you're not pulling up weed seeds. You know, if you run an aerator, there is a risk that you're going to bring weed seeds to the surface that previously were buried 3 to 4 inches deep.
Right. And then all of a sudden they're spreading everywhere, which we don't want. Okay. So if you look around the studio right now, wow, you guys have just brought in some amazing stuff.
The flowers are so pretty.
The nursery, yeah. You got the mums in here right now. I mean, it is mum season, of course. A lot of people do ask, and what is your take on when do I got to get mums in the ground to get them to come back next year?
The key to getting them to survive is getting them in as early as possible.
Sure.
So if you want mums next spring to come back next spring, get them in now. And pick your colors, get them in. Start watering them, starting with the root accelerator.
That's where I was going to go. So you're going to see in one of the shots here, the root accelerator back there. How do you use that correctly?
So with root accelerator, we recommend like 3 ounces in a gallon of water.
Okay.
And that's your initial watering.
Okay.
And then like once a month after that. Although with mums and some perennials, I'm not opposed to pushing them pretty hard once every week, once every couple of weeks. We're pushing roots. Yeah. And the earlier you can get them in the ground, putting them in the ground now gives you the longest period of time from the time you get them in the ground.
Yeah.
Growing roots all winter.
Sure.
Until they grow roots until it gets hot again.
And then
so that's how you get it through the season.
How do you know when to cut them? Like, do you cut them back?
Yeah. So they'll grow just like it, for people that have other perennials, they're just like other perennials, right? So they'll eventually go through a frost and freeze back and die, and they'll just have debris. At that time, you can cut them back.
Yeah.
Some people like to clean up in the fall. I'm a fan of cleaning up in the spring.
Okay.
But you can cut them back if you'd like, but it's really a good idea to mulch the crowns. So I like leaving them until spring to clean them up.
Fair enough. Okay, let me go backwards a little bit. So what if I put seed down in the spring? Do I need to do it again with grass, Richard?
So it kind of depends on the appearance of the yard.
Okay.
If you seeded in the spring and we had a lot of rain this summer and your spring seeding looks great, the lawn looks great, I would say, okay, you may not need to do a heavy renovation, but the best lawns in Kansas City are going to put down a little bit of seed every fall.
Got it.
What you're trying to do is mimic Mother Nature. So if you think about Mother Nature, she developed this grass plant to grow tall, produce a seed head, and then in the fall, those seeds would fall back to the ground.
Got it.
And so since we mow our lawns, the grass doesn't produce the seed head. We're not getting that natural reseeding process. So we are mimicking that by throwing down the grass seed ourselves in the fall.
Got it.
So you throw down a little bit of grass seed every fall. That keeps your lawn thick. That helps prevent weeds. And that's going to make you go into the winter with a perfect looking yard.
They know their stuff, don't they, Mackenzie? They know their stuff. Let me ask this one. This one came in from Rob. Says, what do I do with my ornamental grasses this fall? Those things, boy, if you don't stay on those get out of control, don't they?
It depends on what you planted, but they're going to dry out just like other perennials, but they have a winter interest. So it's really best to just leave those if you can. And
really?
then,
And not cut them back?
Yeah, well, they're all those plumes, they dry on the plant, and that, the fall colors of browns.
Sure.
And, they'll stay and look nice all winter.
All right, last thing before we let you go. So right now, new homeowner comes in all excited. They want everything to look great for spring. You're putting them on the idiot-proof plan.
So we actually have like a specialty little flyer right there.
I love
there
this.
It is.
Fall seeding.
Yep.
It's bright green, so you don't lose it. You stick this right on the fridge out in the garage. You open it up, and literally it is step-by-step,
1, 2,
numbered
3.
steps.
I love it.
This is the steps that you do to seed in the fall. This is how you do it. It's got descriptions of the grass seed. If you need help picking out the grass seeds, that's what we're for.
Yep.
Tell us the conditions in your yard. We'll get you the right amount of seed, the right kind of seed. But yeah, everything's in writing. So once you go through the spiel with us, if you get home and you have forgotten something, you just reference the trifold because it's all in writing.
Here's something I love because with some of the sedge that I've had, I came up and got it's the little packet.
Little
that
nut buster.
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
Nut buster.
I put it in, I was like, hey, do you have a little sprayer? Because my sprayer is, a 3-gallon sprayer or a backpack, and I didn't want to put it in there. Oh, yeah, we've got this little kit, and it's all set.
Yep.
It was my sprayer. It's everything for, I think it was under $30. So thank you for putting those cool little things together and making it easy. Locations are going to pop up right here on the screen. They're all over the city. You can find the grass pad anywhere. But again, you can find Robin. You'll see her. She is in Stillwell.
Stillwell.
And of course, Richard, you're in the Lee Summit location. So these guys will take great care of you. The nursery, the grass seed, whatever it is for your yard.
The
Mackenzie?
garden weasel.
Yes. Mackenzie, what would you charge hourly to go out and run the weasel for people?
How much to run your weasel? I don't think that's an appropriate question.
On that
Don't sell
note,
yourself short, girl.
Robin and Andrew, you've walked into mayhem. Thank you again for your time today and for bringing everything in. Go check out our friends in the grass pad. They'll take great care of you.